Hi, this is Camilla Blossom. I want to talk about grids and ley lines and why it is important to connect with this aspect of Gaia, Mother Earth, and how light workers, energy workers, earth empaths, and all of us who are working with energy as sensitives, we are perfectly and uniquely gifted to bring this work forward on behalf of Mother Earth. And it's really important when these intense things are going on that we keep working on the grid, the crystalline grid of Mother Earth, the spiritual grid, the planetary grid, whatever you call that. It is the electromagnetic lines of crystalline etheric energy that create a grid pattern all around the earth. They go inside the earth. And for humanity, there are certain grids. Some of them are about the ascension, the Christ consciousness grid, the unity grid. There's different names for it. But also every single species on the planet, whether you're an animal or a tree, has a grid specifically for that aspect of nature. So working on these grids can be super powerful and a beautiful service. I know that humanity, we all need a lot of healing right now, but I encourage you, even though that may be your focus, to consider working with Mother Earth and widening your focus if you aren't already doing that. And so part of the way that I'm feeling the need to connect with all of you too, besides sharing more about these grids and the ley lines, is also that it's important for us to circle in community. And when we're in community, we can amplify this work in a beautiful way. And I know there's light workers all around the world that are doing this already. Some do it just through their meditation. Some just do it and sit with the earth energy. And there's millions of ways to do this, more than millions. There's a different way for everybody. But if that's something that you feel called to do more of and want to be part of a community, I'll share a little more about my Patreon community after I talk a little more. So, and one of the things that's really coming forward is to do more of the guided meditations. I've been sharing them a lot in other videos with different groups of people, how to work with elementals and fairies and dragons and ley lines and do this light work on behalf of Earth. And I am being guided to pull that community to a private space of Patreon. Yeah, check that out under Camilla Blossom for Patreon. But for now, I just want to talk a little about ley lines. I work a lot with ley lines. I'm a land alchemist, a land healer, work a lot in relationship with the elementals and the dragons and fairies and the ancestors, the spirits of the land, the plants. So all those aspects of nature are really calling us to connect more and come in oneness. And so over the years, I've felt more and more the need to, when we do our grounding and begin whatever, if it's a session with me or we're doing an event or whatever we're doing, or even as a solo person, to really ground, right, and connect our energy. I often share that visualizing roots of the tree coming out of your feet, branches coming out of your hands. And those are beautiful. Some people do resonate more with crystalline. And part of that is because more and more it's important to remember to connect with the crystalline grid. And what I realized is a very simple thing about grounding that people don't really think about. We think about sending our energy down and into the earth, which is beautiful, and allowing the earth energy to come up, which of course is a very important flow of energy for our body. But also when we come into oneness, just simply by intending, you can do that right now, intending to connect with the crystalline grid of Mother Earth. And that contains all the crystals, all the crystalline energy, that solar crystalline oneness of the unity consciousness, Christ consciousness, the ascension energies. And it's amazing. I mean, I've done sessions with people who just that one thing alone, like, changed everything. Because instead of just being a solo person that's like trying to find that connection of your individuality, which is important, but when you come into connection with the oneness, just through intention of connecting with the grids, then all of a sudden you're in connection with this massive amount of light and truth and a communication system that lives within the earth and connects you with her spirit and love. So yeah, just take a moment and feel that. Just feel the peace of being at one with Mother Earth. And you may notice your communication system opens as well. So, and when you're learning about the crystalline grid or the ley lines, what I found is when I started learning, I was trying to like figure it out. I'm like, how does this work? And so I invite you just to like, don't try to figure it out with your logical mind. A lot of this spiritual teachings and wisdom and what's happening, or what is opening of the knowledge of the ascension of Gaia is not about figuring it out or understanding it in those ways. The way you'll truly get it is to let it drop into your heart, drop into your body as deep as you can, feeling it, experience, just knowing your body has wisdom, your energy body, your soul, your spirit, that light within you, that divine spark of who you are knows all this already. So really, I'm just reminding you and bringing a little more awareness. So as I said before, the grids of Mother Earth, the crystalline grids, the planetary grids, this work is very important for us to focus on. And it's really a matter of just bringing our love to these grids. And I know when I was starting out doing light work as an energy healer, a lot of my visions back then were, oh, I'm seeing like these patterns, these actual grids of light on the earth or above the earth. And so I just felt called to be doing things. And it felt like there was many of us there with the light beings from Gaia, from the elementals, from the cosmos, from the star nations, and really working to keep and maintain and repair and bring, even knit and weave, whatever it is, this energy. So it's a really nice integrous aura is a way to look at it too, that this is about kind of the aura of Gaia and that we can help her feel that integrity, that space. And what happens too, if you think of that when these difficult things go on the planet, you know, the shootings and the wars and different things like that, like it can create kind of havoc and chaos and break places in the field, in the planetary grids. And so even considering, you know, sending your love and your light, and spirit knows what to do with that energy. But also if you feel like you're very visual or you're very feeling and you're kind of getting a sense, oh, there's something that needs to be kind of knitted together or repaired. And I know many of you are probably already doing this, but just for those who want to bring more awareness to what they're doing, I invite you to spend a little more time and tune in to what is happening when you're meditating and tuning into the earth, and what is she needing in terms of that support, repair. And when I approach this work, I don't approach it like I'm going to fix, repair, or do something for the earth even. Like that's not the service in the 5D and in the multidimensional energies. It really is more about your presence, your beingness, bringing your being, your mastery, your gifts forward, and allowing yourself to connect and feel the invitation from these, from Gaia and from all these spirits that you work with to be part of this council. And bringing that unconditional love and gratitude and whatever medicine like you carry is enough. And then what you might notice happening is, oh, like I feel like I'm being invited and asked to like do this certain thing. So there's never a kind of pushing or a force or a power over or a way of like trying to make something happen from my end. Often we might start out being a little more like that way, but then as we go along and more in the new energies, it's like, no, it's just a beingness. And our beingness, being in our beingness is really the most powerful thing we can do. And then connecting with this grid can help. But if any of that kind of helped you see how you can kind of navigate that world, I hope that helps in that etheric realm. And also that in Patreon, I will be doing guided meditations where we can actually do this together. Like I say, I've kind of moved from doing guided meditations in that way onto that platform of Patreon, so that it's a more private space where we can really explore and do more of that. So that's like about the crystalline grids, and also in your comments if there's things that you want more explanation of. But I just wanted to give a sense of that and the importance that we care for the earth in that way, like as light workers, as energy workers. It's like we have the unique gift to be in service to Gaia. And sometimes we don't always know what to do or how to take action on that. So this is a beautiful, simple way to do meditation and focus your love on Gaia, focus on that grid, connect with the grid, recognize her, Gaia, as not only a crystalline being, but a solar being. So there's water, light, plasma, the higher octaves of water and fire and the sun. So seeing that star that she is and connecting with that spirit. And then I wanted to talk a little about ley lines or dragon lines, because a lot of work I do is with the elementals, and the dragons are, and all the elementals work a lot with me with ley lines and portals and how you work with the energy. And that comes up a lot in the light work, the planetary healing work. And you may have had that experience too, and love to, open connection for the different ways everyone works. But the ley lines, traditionally, they're considered like where they connect different sacred spaces. Like you may have heard of the Michael and Mary lines in the UK that are kind of the more feminine and masculine ley lines that connect different sacred sites. And so that's part of the ley lines, but there's also ley lines everywhere. They don't run in straight lines. They can be curvy and change. They can be straight. They can, to me, they're like meridians in the physical body. If you know any Chinese medicine or understanding of that, like they're places where electromagnetic energy flows in our body to connect different organs and systems. And the earth has the same thing. So these different ley lines or dragon lines gather and flow the different energies on the earth. Excuse me. So it's the way the earth circulates its energies through all these ley lines. And then when the ley lines cross places they cross, sometimes it can be different ley lines coming together, not just two. And ley lines can be really big or they can be smaller, and they can be created when we create altars and magic places on our land. But the ley lines, where they cross is where there's vortexes or portals. And so those are more energetic places where there's more circulation of energy. They can also get blocked and clogged. And so I've done a lot of work, I'm sure a lot of you have too, with clearing them and also closing, making sure there's a guardian there to take care of it, which can be the dragons, the indigenous grandmothers. So these are part of that energetic system as well, of electromagnetics of the earth, but really on the earth itself. And so they're part of that, how the energy runs on the earth. So there are often places where we can use the grids too to move that energy into the ley lines and circulate positive energy. Because what happens too, this happens like if I'm working on land, doing land alchemy, and there's people that are having like weird experiences on their land. Like one of the things to really look at, you might want to consider too, is that it can also run through waterways underground. It's kind of another way ley lines flow, is actual water, but that sometimes energy from somewhere else can flow in the earth and flow under where you are. And so there's the water can bring it through, the underground water, the ley lines underneath. So the more we can see the oneness and connect with the full flow of the ley lines, even like just coming to mind in terms of like water, like the ley lines kind of run where water, big water is too, and rivers and such. That kind of has that energy of gathering and collecting and funneling and those energies and places. So working with the source waters, sort of the same idea. So when we're doing the light work, the ley lines are beautiful places to work. And definitely a lot of times when I worked with grids and done that light work, that energy of working with the ley lines and the portals comes in. There's a lot of portals and ley lines also that have been kind of pulled away from their health and their light and their love and used for other purposes, let's put it that way. And so I've also worked to help realign them back into the place of light, and also cleansing, like I was saying, purifying and allowing that old congestion or energy, or also if it's been usurped by some other forces, that we're reclaiming them or calling them back and helping them become kind of like chakras in a body or energy centers. Like the portals can be seen in that way too. So if you're an energy worker and work with people, a lot of this can transfer to working with Gaia. So I invite you to do that. And really why this is so important, I just want to like go through a couple of reasons, like what's going on when we work with ley lines, when we work with grids, not only for Gaia, but this is our purpose. This is why we're here as light workers, is to do this. And to work with these light grids, to be connected always to these, to the planetary grids, and that we feel better when we are, right? So part of that is that we are transmitters. We're bringing through and transmitting the energy, the cosmic energy, the healing energy, the love, what is needed is being transmitted through our bodies. Our bodies are transmitters, broadcasters, healing energies, and they're amplifying tremendously as we move forward in this on your path. And so we have that ability to send amazing amounts of love and light out to heal others, to heal the earth, and without even trying, like just holding your divine, beautiful presence. But then when we do have intention with it, or we work in circle. And the other aspect of what we're all doing as light workers is anchoring these new energies. So right now, that's a huge, huge thing. So even if you don't know what the heck you're doing, just know that you, through your body, through your being, are anchoring huge amounts of new energy that are flowing in, anchoring new light codes, which are like magical medicine energies that change and shift consciousness and open people and bring certain qualities to the earth. They also bring back certain things that have been missing or kind of banished from our experience. They're now coming back to us that also trigger our abilities and our intuition. So the channeling energy, and also part of that channeling and that being a transmitter and anchoring grounding is that energy is going through us from the divine, from the sun, from the solar Christed Sophia, the mother energy, the divine feminine, the grandmothers, that needed creation energy to come and bring balance back. That channeling is going into the ley lines, into the vortexes, into the grid. So it's part of creating more of that oneness. Yeah, and also it's actually a way that we all connect with each other. So if you're feeling those times when you feel like lonely, I'm all alone, what am I doing? I don't know. If you can connect into the crystalline grid, if you connect into the planetary grids, doing the light work. Whenever I do it, I swear, every time I do it, even just for a moment, it's like, oh, I feel so much better. And that's like personally for my energy. And it's because there's so much power and strength in that love from Gaia, from the divine, from what's going on all around, that when we really like own it and claim it and be ourselves in that truth of that energy of who we are. It's just amazing fulfillment and sense of oneness, sense we're not alone, we're together. And I think it will like open, I think it does like magnetize and attract others that are like you. So that if you feel you're really wanting more community and wanting to connect with others, by doing, connecting more with the earth and the grids and sharing that, like you'll be creating more opportunities to do that. I guess I got a lot of attention right now. Excuse me again. So, well, it's been a joy to share that with you. Like I say, don't try to figure any of this out. Just let it seep in, and I will be offering more guided meditations. And when I do those, I really call in the Gaian spirits of nature. So I work a lot with the plants, I work a lot with the fairy realms, the dragons, the gnomes, the water devas and mermaids, like all the different beings that are here with Gaia, as well as all the beings from divine mother, divine father, the ascended masters and angels and devas and star ancestors. So the work that I do really is bridging the different realms of spirit and matter, heaven and earth. And recognizing too, like I think there's a lot of spiritual people may not get this as much. And because I see this a lot just in the world and in the narrative about like fairies and elementals and these beings. And they are like the ingredients for everything on this whole planet. So nature is the teacher. Nature is where we're going. And so anything we can do to connect our spirituality more with our sacred bodies is a way to ground in nature in those teachings. So that's really my role here. And as my favorite motto that came to me from the spirits of Gaia is that we're not here to heal Mother Earth. We're here to heal our relationship with Mother Earth. So I invite you to check out my Patreon community. I'm super excited. I was guided to like pull everything in there, and there's different levels. So it can be anyone's where you're at in your abundance levels. So know that you can join for just $3 or $6 or $21 and share in this bounty of abundance. And I'll be doing more grid work, planetary work, work with that unity grid, and sharing more how I do that, and circling too. Like an important piece of the patron community to me is having a really sacred space that feels very grounded and clean and clear, and that we can work in community, whether that's actually get on and do things together, or if you want to listen to the video of the different meditations and teachings that I offer. And it's all about visioning a new earth. And that's the intention. And that's what's needed. And I know it's easy to get caught up in what's going on, in the chaos and the devastating occurrences, the devastating experiences people are having. And I have tremendous compassion and for those struggling and suffering and going through this horrible experiences. And at the same time, it's our purpose and mission, and will benefit the all when we step in and engage more with why we're here, and that we're here to nurture Mother Gaia and nature and be part of her again. So thank you, and I hope this was helpful, but feel free to let me know if you have more questions or want to go deeper. Might be fun to do more about the dragons at some point here too. So thank you.